Commanders general manager Adam Peters has delivered the move that we have been waiting for weeks at this point, landing a true number one corner and arguably the best cornerback on the trade market before the NFL trade deadline. And Saints cornerback Marshon Lattimore, he is on his way to the nation's capital, and he will be this team's number one corner for the rest of the 2024 NFL season. Welcome in to the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and we have been talking about a cornerback trade on this channel for a very long time. I said just yesterday, watch out for a Marshon Lattimore trade, and that is why you subscribe to the channel. We have that inside track on the players that the Commanders are going to be targeting during the offseason, during the pre-trade deadline era in the National Football League here during the season. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already to join our family today. So let's get into the trade compensation here. So the Commanders get Marshon Lattimore, their new number one corner here. By the way, he's under contract for multiple seasons, and they get a 5th-round pick in next year's NFL draft. The Saints get a 3rd-rounder and a 4th-rounder next year. So that is the Washington Commanders' 3rd-round pick next year. So the Commanders still have Philadelphia's 3rd-round pick in the Jahan Dotson trade, which is expected to be higher than the Commanders' pick. The Saints also get a 4th and 6th-round pick in next year's draft from the Washington Commanders. So let me know down there in the comments section right now. What is your one-word reaction to this move for the Washington Commanders to add a top-notch number one press man corner to their defense? Let me know down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know your one-word reaction. For me, my one word is CB1. This is a team that even going into the season, you knew that this secondary was not the best in terms of on-field talent, in terms of on-paper talent. But for me, guys, I think that getting a number one corner was the number one move that this team could have made to make this team go from, a good playoff team, potentially a team that can win a playoff game to a team that could potentially go on a run in the playoffs and take this defense from just an okay defense at this point to a legitimate, good NFL defense at this point, and the ability to take away number one receivers at a consistent rate is going to be huge for the pass defense here in the nation's capital. Coming up here, I got more analysis and instant reaction from this trade here, which is going to be making waves here in the Commanders fan community here over the next 24 hours or so, heading into Week 10 against the Steelers. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at GameTime, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, if you want to go see Marshon Lattimore play this weekend, there's a good chance he's going to be playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland this weekend. So if you guys want to get the best possible ticket prices to go watch Marshon Lattimore play in burgundy and gold this weekend, download the GameTime app today and use their brand new feature in GameTime Picks. And what it does, guys, is it filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It's super easy to use. You just download the free GameTime app, find an event you want to go see, select the GameTime Picks button at the top of the screen, and it automatically filters through every single ticket in their database to find you the best seats with the best prices, with the best deals for you and your family. What I love about using the GameTime app and why it's the only ticketing app I have on my phone right now is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. What I love about using it, and then take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So here's what Marshon Lattimore has done so far for the New Orleans Saints this season. He has dealt with a hamstring issue, and by the way, he did not play in last week's game against the Carolina Panthers due to that hamstring injury, so we'll see what Lattimore's status is going into this week's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers here in Week 10. But to this point, 30 tackles, doesn't have an interception. He does have 2 pass breakups, but something of note here is that Marshon Lattimore hasn't given up a touchdown in single coverage since the 2021 season. So this guy is known for his ability to shut down number one corners from a press man alignment, which is perfect for what Dan Quinn wants to do. He's going to be playing essentially the role that Trayvon Diggs played in the Dallas Cowboys defense when Quinn was there in the Big D. You take a look at Marshon's numbers here over the last 4 seasons. You take a look at this season. We just looked at his numbers, but he's pretty consistently one of the best press man corners in football. Really good coverage grade as well over the last 4 seasons, but he is somebody that takes away opposing number one receivers. This is definitely the type of move that the Commanders needed to make to bolster this secondary and take this unit from a group that really couldn't handle true number one receivers to a group that can, which is going to absolutely elevate Benjamin St-Juste, Noah Igbenogany, Mike Sainristil. Those guys are going to be able to go up against lower caliber receivers because Lattimore is taking on a bigger part of the load going up against the top flight receivers that the Commanders play later on down the season here. Take a look at his coverage stats here this season. He's allowed 10 catches on 19 attempts for 142 yards. Hasn't allowed a touchdown. And then he does have 2 pass breakups and no interceptions. The quarterback rating against him right now is 77.1. And you add him now to this Commanders defense here, where Marshon Lattimore is going to be your number one corner for the rest of this season. We'll see if he's able to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers with that hamstring issue. But even if he misses a game, guys, this is somebody that is going to be able to help you out. Not only because he's your number one corner now, but Benjamin St-Juste, I like him a lot more going up against number 2 receivers, and I like Mike Sainristil a lot more in the slot because that's what this team drafted him to do. I appreciate what Sainristil has done on the outside, but he really is more suited to play in the slot. This trade allows this secondary to upgrade in a major way, and with the way that Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. are creating pressure up front, I think that this is really the move that the Commanders defense needed to make in order to really get this thing going defensively. Now, the defensive numbers are actually okay. They're 11th in total points per game allowed right now, but in the other metrics, yards per play allowed, passing defense, all these different things, they're not as good. Red zone defense, third down. Adding this number one corner is going to help this team go from, maybe a below average defense to maybe even an above average defense in the second half of the season. And with as good as the Commanders' offense is, I think this is going to be an extremely dangerous team heading into the postseason here. And honestly, I would be surprised if the Washington Commanders don't get somewhere in the 12 to 13 win range with this trade now making them a more well-rounded roster. So it's red pen time. Let me know down there in the comments section. Grade this trade for me down there in the comments section. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. Personally, guys, we've been talking about getting a number one corner for this defense for literally weeks at this point. And for me, I got to give it an A-. Did they give up quite a bit to go get him? They did give up a day 2 draft pick. They did give up 2 more draft picks in order to make this happen. But overall, man, I love this trade. Now, the only way that this trade can really blow up in Washington's face is if that hamstring injury begins to linger and Lattimore either doesn't play well or he doesn't play in a large portion of games. But I love what I'm seeing from the Washington Commanders and Adam Peters right now. If there's another trade, we'll make sure to get breaking news coverage out to you guys as soon as we can. But that'll be it for today's breaking news action here. Make sure you click that subscribe button to never miss a big Commander story right here on the Commanders Report.